You're watching ABC News Now. Welcome to Money Matters. It is Friday, so it's our Food Fridays. And so today, did you know that this is Ice Cream Month in honor of that special designation? We have with us John Snyder, the founder of, let me get this right, Laboratorio Del Gelato. Is that right, Mr. Snyder?
That was very well said, yes.
All right. So you've got some very unique gelato flavors, and this is one of those tests where if we can get to the interview fast enough before all the gelato melts. Right. Why? I've got in front of me avocado, licorice, black sesame. What makes you want to do this to gelato?
Well, you know, we have in our shop, we produce about 130 flavors, I think we're up to around now. So we run the gamut from vanilla and chocolate to some of those flavors that you just mentioned. It's kind of the idea behind the laboratory. The reason I came up with the name for this company is we're really there as a wholesale business where we work with chefs in New York to customize flavors so that chefs can have unique flavors for their own menus. And,
all right. Mr. Snyder, on Fridays we also have our food doctor Howard Moskowitz standing by. Now he does the hard, heavy lifting of giving you the feedback on how good things taste, but he has also got some insight and analysis on the industry. So, Dr. Moskowitz,
good morning.
Tell me a little bit about what do you think here in the sort of gelato and ice cream space? Is this something that works?
It looks like to me I have, can you see it? I have the black sesame. I have a whole bunch of products here with great flavors. Tarragon, pink pepper, and olive oil.
Good morning, Rob.
So olive oil. This is very unusual. Now it seems to me that the world is going to premium ice creams, and this is certainly within that track, what's happening. I've tasted some of the ice creams too, and I've got to tell you, this is the best part of the whole program.
Yeah. So, Mr. Snyder, tell me a little bit about how you got interested in gelato in the first place.
Well, ice cream kind of goes back in my family for decades. My grandfather was a contractor who built a lot of the Carvel stores in the New York area.
Okay.
And then the last one that he built, he kept as a franchise. And that was 1951. And he and my grandmother and their daughters, one of which is my mom, ran that store for up over 50 years. It's actually still up in Peekskill, New York, and still family owned. So I used to work there in the summertime as a kid with all my cousins, and it was a big family kind of business. And in 1981, I believe it was, after high school, I took a trip to Italy, and I fell in love with what was going on over there. The Italian ice creams and the unique flavors that you find in Italy. And what I did then is I quit school. I was in college at the time. I quit school and I started a small ice cream company in Soho. Again, kind of similarly themed to what we're doing now. It was mostly wholesale. It was called Ciao Bella Gelato.
Yeah.
And we did mostly wholesale to restaurants in New York. We had a little retail shop, but you know, I quit school then not to the happiness of my parents at the time, and it was a real struggle starting a small business and getting chefs to taste the product and restaurants to take on the product. But you know, one by one, we secured some great accounts, and that was my first venture into my own business.
Howard, break it down for us. The basic difference between gelato and ice cream?
Gelato is a much softer, much lighter type of ice cream. Much more given to better flavors. It's a finer quality ice cream. It's part of the premium movement. The question I would like to ask is, it's a laboratory. Do chefs come and create their own products?
Yeah, what we do, it's mostly how we develop new flavors is collaborative with chefs, you know, that are looking for something unique. They give us a call and they say, can you do this, can you do that? A lot of times sometimes we'll create flavors just out of inspiration, my own inspiration, but most of the time it's a chef asking for something, and whether they give us a recipe or they ask us to go with it and try and come up with with an avocado or an olive oil or a sesame, and we'll do a little sample batch for them and give them a couple of samples, small amounts, so they can taste it. And
you know, the last time I was in Italy, which was just 2 months ago, I had gelato, but I didn't see these flavors. Most of the Italians are having regular standard gelato flavors, maybe pistachio. What makes you come up with something like black pepper or tarragon and pink pepper, black sesame or tarragon and pink pepper?
Right. Well, that's the, I mean, in Italy, and part of the inspiration for the company is certainly in Italy, they're much more creative than we tend to be with flavors. I mean, you get rice and licorice. Licorice is a pretty common flavor that you'll find over there. They do different cheeses like ricotta, and depending on where you go and which region you go to in Italy, you'll find different unique flavors. But the great thing about having this company in New York, where we have the best restaurants and the variety of restaurants that we have, is that we can work with chefs that are interested in doing something unique, and that's really the fun part of the business is working with chefs and coming up with unique flavors, so that they can pair it with something on their menu.
All right, John Snyder from Il Laboratorio Del Gelato in New York. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, remember everyone, it is National Ice Cream Month. You have an excuse. That is Money Matters for now. Check in with us again. Thank you again, Dr. Howard Moskowitz, our food doctor as well.